2024, it's definitely one for the books. It's been more than a few crazy stories and headlines that came with the year. Today, we're going over the top 10 craziest situations to play out over the year. Let's get into it. Number 10, Compton pit bull breeder mauled to death by his own dogs.
A pit bull breeder is savagely mauled to death by the very dogs he was raising in Compton.
His mutilated body was found inside a blood-stained kennel on his property.
Sky 5 was overhead as a woman frantically scales a fence, trying desperately to avoid some very agitated and apparently dangerous dogs on the ground below her. They have already killed her boyfriend.
Yeah, this one was crazy. A dog breeder in Compton unfortunately met his early demise in February this year after he was attacked by his own dogs while he was trying to feed them.
Authorities believe the victim was actually killed sometime last night, maybe around 7:30, 8 p.m., and his body was in that dog pen for hours until his girlfriend found him this morning.
And it was discovered that as our victim was in the backyard, apparently feeding them. It sounds like they attacked him and ultimately he succumbed to his injuries.
Law enforcement personnel, firefighters, and LA County animal control officers quickly converged at the location. The graphic footage, which we will not be revealing, shows the dogs ripped off most of the 35-year-old man's clothes, in addition to fatally biting and mauling him.
Sadly, this is common throughout California, with a guy in a bay hopping to scale a fence for safety after they've been attacked by two dogs.
I saw two pit bulls.
A short walk home from the gym near Alameda and Vermont Streets took a terrifying, nearly fatal turn for Pablo Rocha. Surveillance video shows Rocha taken down by two dogs. He tries to get up, but is attacked again and again. Another camera captures his escape. Bloodied and battered, he climbs a nearby fence before the dogs eventually run off.
And worse than that is a case of a 5-year-old girl recently killed by rots in West Covina.
The 5-year-old girl who was attacked by family dogs did not survive. Shortly after the attack, Air 7 capturing video of the home on Palomino Drive. We spotted several dogs in the backyard where the attack took place. Tonight, we have confirmed that animal control removed 4 dogs from the property. Deputies say 2 of those dogs, a 10-year-old Rottweiler and a 6-year-old Rottie mix, are responsible for the deadly attack.
The sad part is that all this shit could be easily avoided.
People need to take better care of their dogs. People need to understand that these dogs can kill somebody and hurt people.
It should have never happened. This time it happened to the owner of the dogs, but normally it happens to children, elderly, defenseless people, and somebody definitely needs to be held accountable for this. There has to be some kind of law and order here.
Man, train your damn dogs. And if you have a dangerous dog, frankly, put his ass down. Or keep him squared away from other animals and people. Number 9, deadly road rage incidents was at an all-time high this year. Bruh, from San Diego to the Bay, road rage has always been a common occurrence when it comes to the streets of California. But nigga, this year right here, this one definitely had crazy headlines from damn near every region of the state. For example, the 5 freeway in Los Angeles, California had a crazy situation played out in October when a suspect, he opened fire on a car.
Police say 2 cars, a gold Cadillac and a dark-colored SUV, were seen chasing each other on the northbound 5 before the Cadillac rear-ended another uninvolved car during rush hour traffic.
Until further notice, an investigation continuing. Right now, a tent here in the middle of the freeway covering the vehicle that is at the center of this deadly shooting.
It's scary to know that there's people with bad intentions out there just randomly shooting anybody in the freeway.
Yo, the crazy part about this incident is that it's only one of a few that occurred on freeways this year, with another shooting happening on the 10 freeway, just a couple miles from the 5.
The CHP says a man riding a black motorcycle fired multiple rounds into this white Camaro on the eastbound 10 just after 2 this morning. The driver was hit, but somehow managed to pull over and call 911. He did not survive.
California it's definitely the wild, wild west when it comes to road rage, especially in Los Angeles. Sadly, a kid lost his life a couple days before Thanksgiving right by USC in the crypto arena after an altercation with a group of bikers and a person driving.
CHP officers say about 40 bicyclists were out there riding on Figueroa Street when a confrontation of some sort unfolded between the riders and a driver. And that's when they say the driver of a Honda Accord followed those riders into a parking lot and intentionally ran over 16-year-old Jonathan Flores before taking off.
The penalties for hit and run, road rage, are laughable. They are laughable. It's a misdemeanor with only a few days in jail. You're talking about a major, not only felony, should be, but loss of life, but yet you have such lax enforcement.
Definitely rest in peace to all parties involved. I couldn't find the names of the victims, unfortunately, but still, let me get some RPs in the comments for the victims so far who have lost their lives. Anyways, look, road rage is one altercation that occurs often throughout California. I'm definitely guilty of that shit myself, but something that for sure is foreign to California, or even the nation for that matter, is definitely gonna be the next headline. Number 8, nigga, a fucking samurai sword?
Now to a brutal attack in San Dimas that has left one person dead and 2 others hurt. The weapon, a samurai sword.
Yeah, bro. In a chain of wild events planned out in San Dimas, California in July, a group of females got into it and ended up hacking each other with a samurai sword, with an unfortunate death occurring throughout the ordeal. This allegedly happened over a domestic dispute between one of the women and her wife. Bruh, getting hacked to death by a samurai sword is definitely an exotic way to go out. Rest in peace to that lady. Number 7, UPS driver shot 14 times and killed by childhood friend.
A deadly shooting, an explosive standoff with the murder suspect. This was a fateful Thursday in Irvine. It all started around 3 p.m. in an industrial pocket not far from a popular shopping mall, Irvine Spectrum Center. Business owners and employees tell us their regular UPS delivery man was parked along the curb on a lunch break. He was in the driver's seat, the door wide open, when another man pulled up in a pickup truck and shot the UPS driver with a barrage of bullets.
Yeah, this one, it definitely got intense too. These guys were apparently childhood friends. And shit, if you ask me, the victim was definitely fucking the suspect's wife, or shit, maybe they was fucking each other. I could be completely wrong on both guesses. But man, to shoot your friend 14 times means it definitely was a crazy ass storyline we didn't hear about.
One man working nearby says he thought he was hearing a jackhammer, which he later learned was rapid gunfire.
The driver of the suspect vehicle never got out of the car, just reached across the passenger seat and shot the driver through the window.
Investigators say nothing was stolen and this appears to be a targeted hit and not a robbery turned deadly.
Yeah, those last 2 were definitely some gruesome situations. But honestly, they were crimes of passion. And while no form of murder is justified, there's some cold-blooded people out here who will kill for a couple dollars. But on top of that, it's psychopaths who are plotting your demise. Bruh, it's to the point to where you gotta watch your friendly local plumber. Or you could fall victim too. Plumber kills multiple people while working routes.
Second chair, prosecutors were preparing their case against this Camarillo plumber for allegedly murdering a co-worker for financial gain. That's when they say they discovered some suspicious bank activity between the plumber and another man. That man had supposedly died of natural causes, but they say after exhuming his body, they learned he had actually been murdered with fentanyl.
Man, you gotta be a dumbass nigga to murder your co-worker and then kill another person while you're being investigated for another murder. And still be pulling money from your victim's account. But that's exactly what Foster did before he got caught up in May.
Foster was charged last summer for murdering Velasquez, whose body was found in the Santa Monica Mountains in October 2022. Authorities say they learned Foster had been using the victim's credit card.
That the defendant violently and forcibly took ATM passwords and checks from Velasquez and used those financial instruments for gas, cash, clothing, and food.
In preparation to prosecute Foster for Velasquez's murder. They obtained the victim's bank records and noticed several suspicious bank transactions between Foster's account and an account belonging to 72-year-old Bill Levy of Granada Hills. Prosecutors began looking into what the connection was between Foster and Levy.
Mr. Foster, it was learned, worked for a large plumbing company who had dispatched to the Granada Hills townhouse on several occasions.
They also discovered that Levy, who was never married and lived alone, had been found dead in his townhouse on January 10, 2022, supposedly from natural causes. And all those suspicious deposits from Levy's account into Foster's took place the next day.
Fucking dumbass.
Prosecutors say they've linked Foster to other crimes and other victims and tell us he has also served time in the early 2000s for manslaughter and assault with a deadly weapon.
Number 5, street takeovers causing havoc, death, and destruction throughout California.
Now, at this point, very dangerous weekend, and now, sadly, a deadly weekend. Early Saturday morning, Vermont Square area, there's a street takeover, and police are telling us there are two 15-year-olds. They're watching, and suddenly they are targeted. There is gunfire. They are robbed of their jewelry. One of those teenagers has died. The other listed in stable condition. And then once again, last night into early this morning, more chaos on the streets. Watch. A wild night through South L.A. Some might even call it a devil's night. A car lit up like a torch, burning and exploding. A fire hydrant ripped open, blasting out water. Cars left smoking, mangled, and left right on the spot before police get there. And then the looting and destruction. All the dirty work, LAPD says, tied to this. Street takeovers, several of them from one location to another, with an out-of-control crowd now turned dangerous mob, roaring from one intersection to another.
Look, California has always been a mecca when it comes to cars, shows, and the race scene. We love our lowriders, GNXs, old school Buicks, fast cars, and much more. But a fairly new activity that quickly took over the state is gonna be street takeovers.
I just heard gunshots coming from all directions, people trying to hide.
Shots echoing through this East Oakland neighborhood early Saturday following what neighbors described as an hour-long sideshow.
Like a whole hour. No police. I didn't hear no sirens at all. Some people were on top of that house's roof. There were fireworks included. There were blue lasers, green lasers.
Which is when young crowds, often with stolen cars, take over intersections and show off their driving and drifting skills. And look, I ain't gonna lie, I've been to a couple of these, and them motherfuckers is fun. From the street takeover to the run from the cops. But you also have to know the risk you're taking when you come to one of these. Yeah, niggas get robbed, shot, hit with cars. It's often a car crash or a couple, and it's been more than a few occasions of people being killed at these takeovers.
That one car came to a rest right where you see all of that debris at this traffic light, and then the other car involved came to a rest at the Central Avenue and El Segundo Boulevard intersection. We know that this deadly crash left at least one person killed because of it. According to witnesses, the vehicles were part of a street takeover convoy heading to their next event. We can take you to video. As of now, it remains unclear if there were any additional injuries or arrests connected to this deadly crash that happened just after midnight. Street takeovers, also known as sideshows, have seen a dramatic rise this year, with data from the LAPD confirming a surge in these dangerous gatherings.
It's almost to the point to where you can damn near guarantee someone's gonna get shot or robbed or hit by a car. These street takeovers often lead to other criminal activities too, like looting and flash mobs, leading to a lot of money and damages. Number 4, Fresno Man murders his 5 babies in cold blood.
In this case, 5 infants were killed between 1992 and 2001. And to this day, not all of their bodies have been found. And detectives say their father is accused of killing them. Many questions have surrounded this case, but one seems to be at the forefront. If this is true, how did he get away with this for so long?
Man, the one thing I learned after researching this video is motherfuckers is monsters in this world.
Paul Allen Alan Perez was already a convicted sex offender. And Dr. Hickey says in his decades of studies, this could have played a part in the killings.
And here are these 5 little children, because they found to have been tortured, that means that there had been some element of sadism involved, very likely. And as I mentioned to some law enforcement, I said, you should consider that this could be a sex crimes case.
It's one thing to harm or murder another person, but to take a baby's life and to go more in depth, to take your own flesh and blood's life, bruh, it's a special place in hell for you.
Sometimes people say he had to have been crazy to do this. He was not crazy. Crazy means mental illness. There was forethought, there was planning, there was a methodology, there was sadism. None of this speaks to mental illness, it speaks to evil.
If Paul Alan Perez is convicted, Dr. Hickey says one thing is clear. He never had an attachment to any of his own babies.
It kind of verifies to me that there is evil in this world. We all do wrong things, but this wasn't just wrong things or even a bad thing. This was horrifically horrible that came out of something that something in hell would do.
Sadly, this is exactly what played out over the years in Fresno, California, up until the FBI dug up the bodies in May. Number 3, bruh, you getting caught up again?
I understand. Let us out, bro. Cause these ass snooping niggas. Bro,
just let us out, bro. Let us out.
Bro, I'm not even supposed to be in this shit right now.
Bro, let us out, Dayon. Dayon, let us out, bro.
It's over with.
Dayon,
This story honestly stretches back to 2023, but let's get into details on how everything played out, starting with this car chase that took place throughout Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh.
That's very troubling.
A very young child.
In the lap of this suspect who has been driving, and now it looks like there are more people than the 2 people that we expected to be inside. And here is a baby. Oh my gosh.
A very young child.
It couldn't be like more than 6 months old.
That is the most troubling aspect of all of this, to see something like that. So,
all right, the insane part about all this is that this is the same Rolling 40 Crip member who was involved in a home invasion on the east side of South Central last year.
Ellen, David, all 4 suspects are in police custody. Now, take a look over my shoulder. This all started at this red brick building here. It started as a home invasion and robbery, which is adjacent to a police station. Now, take a look at Air 7 HD. It shows you the large police presence around 33rd and Central in South LA. The victim called 911 around noon to report the intruders in his home. They tied him up, covered his eyes, according to police. Now, it's not clear how they were able to break in. Police responded and were able to quickly get 2 of the suspects. Police say a 3rd suspect jumped from the apartment building with a hammer in his hand. An officer engaged him, and that's when they say shots were fired. Now, the 4th suspect was captured by a police K-9. Investigators say it does not appear the victim knew the suspects.
Not only did these guys try to rob civilians from low-income apartments, they recorded themselves live trying to escape the building once the police surrounded the structure. Check this out.
Yeah, I want to bang it out. It's over. This is life, cuz. It's over. It's over. We might as well kill ourselves. Oh, Billy not right here. They home now. I will bang it out. If you grab a Billy, I will bang it out.
All I gotta say is, make that shit worth it. To get caught up in both of these situations kind of shows the mindset of this guy. Bro clearly ain't thinking straight.
I'm in the low bottoms. Oh, that's the rooftop. The bird gonna see this.
But this next headline has been a reoccurring one throughout the year. And it's clearly a group or groups thinking with intent. So much so that the whole city of Los Angeles gets to see what they've been up to. Number 2, Tiger crews take over downtown Los Angeles, abandoned skyscrapers.
Angeles, nearly every floor of a 27-story luxury apartment building covered in graffiti. The high-rise is just across the street from LA Live and the red carpet for this Sunday's Grammy Awards.
So Los Angeles is known for having graffiti and tag-ins surrounded throughout different sections of the city. But in a series of tag-ins that's seen a broken windows theory on full display, it's definitely going to be the tagged up skyscrapers across the street from the crypto arena.
Last night there was a crew on one of the floors and
people were coming out, getting detained by LAPD, and getting cited and released, and people still in there tagging while the cops are still down here.
The three towers that make up Oceanwide Plaza at South Figueroa and West 11th Street, across from the Crypto.com arena, was one of the largest real estate projects in the city, with an estimated price tag of more than $1 billion. But the developer, China-based Oceanwide Holdings, reportedly ran out of money in 2019 and never finished the mega development project. Does it surprise you that something like this would happen?
I'm honestly kind of surprised it took this long for it to happen. The building's been sitting there for years, you know, basically untouched.
Untouched?
Bruh, to this day, like today, there's people sneaking inside these structures still, with some of them tagging the remaining free space, and others, bro, they skyscraping from the top of these motherfuckers. It's like they made it a game of who can get away with spraying and causing mischief in these buildings. And honestly, I love that shit. Fuck it. Let's show the real underbelly of Los Angeles. Number 1, 6 people found dead in the Mojave Desert.
A gruesome mass murder mystery is unfolding tonight in the Mojave Desert.
6 people are found dead in a remote area north of Victorville. The victims discovered near 2 bullet-riddled vehicles on a dirt road outside the community of El Mirage. Some of the bodies had been burned. What's unclear tonight, who are the victims, who is responsible, and what led to the massacre.
This one, it definitely gave some cartel type, you niggas stole my money, or drugs type vibe. Or it could be a deal going bad type of thing too. Either way, there's no way you can't tell me this isn't a cartel.
These found scattered along a desolate dirt road, along with a white van and a dark blue SUV riddled with bullet holes. Several of the bodies appear to have been burned. A crime scene so grisly, we can't show you every image. By dawn, investigators located another body hundreds of feet away.
So we have a total of 6 at this point.
6 bodies in the middle of the desert. Dozens of evidence markers dotting what are believed to be shell casings.
Certainly by looking at the number of people involved and the way and how gruesome they were not only killed but then set on fire, you know, this has some of the earmarks of kind of a gangland style slaying. It could be gang related, it could be cartel related.
With this storyline making headlines in January, this definitely set the tone for the year. And as you guys can already see, based off of these stories and others, shit definitely got real out here. Conclusion. Honestly, it seems with each passing year, the gruesomeness and the stupidity seems to be getting worse and worse when it comes to certain individuals throughout California. Some are blaming the hard-headed locals, but I want to dive deeper into that. It's these corrupt-ass politicians that are tearing down the state. And you don't have to look any further than the Dong family in the Bay to get a better understanding of what I mean.
According to an investigation by the Fair Political Practices Commission, which is a state oversight arm, Andy Duong was the true source of at least 93 contributions to multiple local campaign committees when he created a campaign contribution laundering scheme to benefit his family-owned company, California Waste Solutions, or CWS. According to an ABC7 News analysis of state and federal data, both Andy Duong and his father David have made contributions totaling more than $250,000 to 28 candidates across California. More than 300 other contributions totaling over $2 million were sent to candidates or political action committees across the country.
That's just a fraction of what this allegedly corrupt family is known for.
New details about the man seemingly at the center of the FBI's political corruption investigation that raided the mayor of Oakland's home last week. Now, it's getting more interesting.
People gathered calling for Mayor Tao's resignation.
Our mayor has failed us. We are here to demand that she resign and stop embarrassing herself and further embarrassing the city of Oakland and further damaging the city of Oakland.
I think the people who are most impacted today are Oakland's residents, because they need to know that their mayor is not embroiled in a corruption scandal. And if she is, they need to know that she's not going to be distracted by it so she can lead the city.
Look, I can literally go on all day when it comes to the corruption that ultimately leads to a lot of the lawlessness that goes on in the Golden State. But I won't. I was taught that a man without a solution is a boy with a lot of excuses. With that being said, we gotta hold ourselves accountable. From the lawmakers to the citizens, when it comes to how we operate in our state. Or shit, man, we might need Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the office. I swear, a lot of this shit wasn't even going on when the Terminator was the governor. Anyways, what do y'all think about the list? Did I miss anything crazy that went down this year? Or is my order supposed to be different? Also, did anything crazy go down for you this year? Let's have a conversation about it. Oh, by the way, I put together a list of some honorable mentions. So y'all stay tuned if you're curious about that. Otherwise, let me get a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Y'all stay safe or dangerous out there.
On to other news now. Chilling video of a dangerous street takeover that sends two teens to the hospital in Anaheim. It is circulating on social media and is part of the police investigation. The video captures the moment a black Dodge Charger loses control and crashes into a group of spectators, apparently pinning several people and angering the crowd.
There were 4 people that were in a Tesla Cybertruck, which burst into flames. Piedmont Police Captain Chris Monahan tells me that 3 people died and 1 person was injured in this crash. The person injured is in the hospital right now after crews pulled them from the truck. It all happened around 3 o'clock this morning, and the truck called 911 after the collision. A resident also called, and officers found the truck in flames. Now, it's not clear how fast the truck was going, and the cause of the crash is still not known.
Breaking news, we have just learned the man who was living in Ontario has been arrested, accused of trying to ship weapons to North Korea. Federal authorities say Shinghua Wen successfully shipped firearms and ammunition to North Korea by concealing those items inside shipping containers from Long Beach. Authorities say they later found 50,000 rounds of ammo at Wen's house in Ontario. They said Wen was living here in the United States illegally after he came here on a student visa in 2012 and never left.
Breaking news, police investigating a traffic collision involving 3 vehicles and a Metro bus in South LA's Vermont Vista neighborhood. Happened last night just before 11:30 on South Figueroa Avenue near West Century Boulevard. Witnesses say the drivers of the 3 vehicles were attempting to start a street takeover at the intersection. Those drivers ran from the scene. 1 person was taken to the hospital in unknown condition.
Began at Manchester and Figueroa in South LA at around 12:45 a.m. That's where police began pursuing the bus. The driver had activated a panic button. He had notified authorities that an armed man had boarded the bus and hijacked it, and that the man was pointing a gun at him and that other passengers were being held hostage.